Good evening, everybody. I am here to talk about Proverbs 16 through 18, and obviously I'm going to zero in on the famous line about pride. Pride comes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall. Now, if any member of the LGBTQ community happens to stumble upon this video, let me absolve myself by saying we love you. Members of this community love you. We don't love your sin. We don't love our sin. We don't love anybody's sin. We don't dive deeply into swimming about in our sin and enjoying it. Terrible thought. I go swimming like 3 times, 4 times a week. What if I was swimming in sin? That would just be awful. But when you see the LGBTQ community having a pride parade or a pride month or pride advertisements littering the walls and the boards of a baseball stadium, celebrate Pride Month. That's just flinging your nose, so to speak, at God. And the question becomes, do they all realize that they are doing that? And I've seen where Christian pastors, street preachers, have confronted the LGBTQ community at pride parades. And obviously they were provoked, but their response indicates that they are not all LGBTQ community people, but the ones that march in the parades, and maybe not all of them, but many of them. There is a lot of anti-God sentiment. There's a lot of anti-God, pro-LGBTQ alphabet soup sentiment in our schools. Kids have been subjected to just terribly awful anti-God instruction and agenda born of the depths of hell. And I looked to see if possibly there was a different word that would have been actually a more accurate translation. I looked for, conceit and arrogance and even just ego. And no, it's pride. And yes, the LGBTQ community did choose the word that God said would represent destruction. And I don't know what else there is to say except be in the Lord. I mean, who are you? Who am I? Who is anybody except for a sinner with an undeserved favor of grace, which allows us to all come back home to God. So don't be prideful. Certainly don't be haughty. Don't shove it in your face how great that you are. I suppose there are useful terms for the word pride. You can have pride in the Lord. You can have pride in maybe acting in a godly fashion. Just don't go boasting and bragging about it. But you can be happy with yourself because you did something godly for a change. Look, I'm really not here to put anybody down. I'm just here to say that pride and haughtiness is very clearly stated in the Bible to not be the way to go. And that's what happened. That's what is discussed. That's what is put forth, specifically in Proverbs 16. Yes, the Bible does say that. It absolutely does. Do not be prideful. It's not a good idea. And with that said, I love you, and in the holy name of Jesus, I am proud to be associated with other people who realize who Jesus is, who we are, and what it's all about. Have a great week.